Super quick video. We all know reading's good. Chances are we don't do enough of it. I've got a very quick basic tip to share that will get you finishing more books in less time.
LOLO BX.
What's up? It's LOLO BX on this episode of
Just the tip.
I'm just going to share a very quick little secret. It's not a secret. It's just something that I personally have discovered recently that has really skyrocketed my reading and the amount of books that I'm able to get through. This is not the most groundbreaking video in the world. I'm not making these videos for the sake of getting the most amount of views. Most of these topics are about things that I know aren't really going to get a lot of searches or a lot of clicks. They're things that I find important and they're things that other people might have overlooked. They're just little things that make my life easier, my life more productive and more enjoyable that I'm sharing with you. So I used to read quite a bit. Recently I've started to make an effort to get through more material because there's a long list of books that I've been meaning to read. There's always a new book recommended to me, whether it be on a podcast or a YouTube video, in an interview with someone I look up to. That list seemed to just keep growing and growing, so I thought enough was enough. It's time for me to knuckle down, actually get some of these books and work my way through them. Now, without wasting any time, my tip is to get a Kindle.
Oh God.
If you don't have one already. I was against the idea for many years. I'm a bit of a book purist. Well, I'm not really, but I just always liked the idea of having a physical book in my hand.
Whoa.
I guess I just imagined a Kindle to be akin to an iPad. And like iPads are pretty harsh on your eyes, and I tend to read before bed, so I don't really want to sit there with a backlit screen like staring blue light into my face before bed. So for many years I really just put off the idea of even looking into them or learning about them, which was pretty dumb in retrospect. But I looked into them finally. Mine's a Paperwhite. If you're anything like me, you might be expecting them just to be like a glorified iPad or like a dumbed down version of an iPad. Basically, they look just like a book. They're not harsh on the eyes at all, and obviously you've got the advantages that come along with it, carrying all your books inside one little Kindle that's smaller than one book itself. You realize how much of a difference it makes to the amount of books you're able to read through. Obviously, a huge plus is having every book in the world basically at your fingertips. You finish a book, you can scroll through, choose a new one, pay whatever it is, $7 or $8, you've got it instantly and it's there. If you take it traveling anywhere, you've got all your books all the time. Not only that, but I've also found that it makes me read more. So like you'll open a book, for instance, at the minute I'm reading one called Mini Habits, which I recommend. Down the bottom corner there, it says 54%, tells you how far through the book you are, and you can hit the top of the screen, you get some info, and it tells you how much time you've got left in the current chapter. So here it says time left in chapter 1 minute, and I'm 54% through the entire book. So if you can imagine, when you're reading, you might feel like putting the book down, or you might say, I'm going to read one more page and then go to bed. You just hit the top bar, tells you how much longer you've got left in that particular chapter. So you might have 3 minutes left in that chapter, which is a few pages worth of reading. Like, well, I'm going to finish the chapter now. So you sit there for an extra 3 minutes and you finish the chapter. And it also tells you these things when you look at a book in the Amazon store. So it'll say like average reading time 3 hours. It can also help you choose which book you want to read next, or which book you want to start now, or fit into a certain amount of space. These little things are really handy. They're just way better than having books.
Very, way more stronger.
Coming from someone who works for a living in the print industry, I'm a supporter of print media and books. I love my Kindle, and it's really helping me read more often and get through more every time I sit down for a reading session. So there's a bunch of ways that they differ from an iPad or another type of usual tablet type thing. The screen is glare free. You can read it in the sun easily. You can fully customize the display, so things like the typeface or the font, the size of the font. You can set the amount of the backlight. I think it's actually called a front light. It's supposedly somehow different. Mine is a Kindle Paperwhite. I think the new Paperwhite is waterproof as well. Don't know if you'd ever use it near water, maybe in the bath or at the beach or something. It's always good for peace of mind anyway. The battery lasts like weeks on end, maybe even like a month or two depending on how much you use it. So yeah, they're pretty cool. They're only a couple of $100 too. Obviously you still need to buy your books, but they're pretty cheap too. I've found they're like $7 or $8 per title. Some are cheaper, you can get them for like $2 or $3 sometimes. If you like reading or you want to get into more reading, I really recommend getting a Kindle. It doesn't have to be a Kindle, any type of e-reader. Do your research and get whatever suits you and your budget. It's just so handy to have there sitting on the bedside before bed. Just read for 5 minutes. Chances are when you pick up and you read for 5 minutes, check how much longer you got left in the chapter. You might have 4 or 5 minutes left in that chapter. You'll end up reading for 10 minutes.
Whoa.
These things are so self-explanatory, but they're so beneficial in the amount of books you can get through. That's about it. I've been reading a heap of books that have helped me with my music and my approach to music and the creative process. I'll probably make some other videos reviewing some of the best books. If you really want a recommendation, I would say start with a book called The War of Art, and that's not The Art of War, it's a play on the title of that classic. I think it's by Stephen Pressfield. That's the first one I'd recommend reading. He's got one that's sort of a sequel to that called Turning Pro. If you like the first one, you can go on to the second one. Another book is The One Thing. I think it's by Gary Keller. Yes, The One Thing by Gary Keller. That's it. It's been a minute between videos. It's been actually a week or two. Last week I was in Sydney. I've also got a new single coming out next week that I've animated my own music video for, so that has taken up a lot of my spare time just getting the bits and pieces ready for that. I'm just self-releasing that independently, so I've been putting together the music video and all the different teaser snippet videos and Instagram story versions and all the other content that goes along with a music release. So that's kept me on my feet, but I got more videos on the way. Keep an eye out for those. That's it. I won't hold you up any longer. Highly recommend you look into buying a Kindle or any other type of e-reader. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Keep an eye out for my upcoming videos and my new music video dropping this week. That's it from me. Until next time, peace.